Good morning and welcome to TERRA at Home. We're here with Michelle and we're in this great little spot because we're talking about getting, again, we're covering every element of decorating.
I think
inside,
so.
outside. We just want to make sure that you just have a festive, fun holiday season. So some really good ideas. We're going to get a little crafty as well. We want to show this guy right off the top because this is pretty cool.
So the wreaths this year are really nice. And you know, you can buy a wreath that's already done or you can do your own.
Sure.
So in this case, this would be something that I would hang with a ribbon over a mirror, something very simple.
Look at that.
They're just beautiful. They really are just beautiful.
And you're right,
very dense.
you can get quite ornate with it, or you can be very simple, as you say, with just a red ribbon.
Yep.
Something very straight. But you're right, this is like
it's hardy.
Serious hardy business. I love it. It's really nice.
It is very nice.
All right.
Then there's things like, you know, a lot of people want to do something that speaks to them or their family or whatever. So you could do something with adding a letter. So we've got the monogram kind of letter look that you can add to a wreath. So
I like that,
you know,
yeah.
Do your last name or whatever.
Right.
And simple things like all those poinsettias and birds are on clips. So if you change your mind, you have a green wreath that you can basically do anything with years from now, you know?
That's right, you don't have to. And that's the thing sometimes. I mean, Christmas only comes once a year, but people like to just change things up a little bit depending on what their theme may be outside their house or indoors, either or.
Exactly.
And just kind of add and have fun with it.
It is, it's kind of neat. Then you have things like the white, lots of people, like the white snowy flocked. So you can do that in the wreath, or you could do something a little bit different in flocked and actually just hang a tree on your door.
That's neat.
Or above your mantle or something like that. Could be used for various different things.
Really great.
But it's really simple. It's
is
different. Something a little bit more traditional for like the Christmas tree lover.
But you're right. I mean, not everybody wants to have just a wreath on their door. They want to have fun with it, right? And
Absolutely. So
fun. And of course, you know, I was mentioning, we've got all these great ideas of making our own.
So these wreaths are awesome. So these frames come in gold, silver, red. There's also berry ones. And then we're going to show what you've got hiding under your feet in a minute too.
Yes.
But this is just adding mesh to a wire frame, and it's as simple as twisting the branches and you get this completed, really nice wreath.
And we even did something this with, back for Thanksgiving theme.
We did.
Earlier on in the show, right? Where we took some, some rusts and all of the beautiful fall colors that we had out there and created the same thing. So very easy to do, easy to store away, and easy just to undo and start fresh.
Exactly.
So you have a nice
inexpensive.
frame.
Inexpensive, which is nice as well.
And again, you could add as much to that as you want or need.
Absolutely.
So we're going to show this cool one. As we're saying, we're kind of thinking outside of the box instead of having a traditional wreath. You have something
a candy cane.
I love it.
So the candy cane is good for a larger door, obviously, because it is a little bit bigger. And or if you wanted to hang it inside on a wall, you could do that as well.
Right.
And the other thing with the candy cane is it's different.
It is.
Not everyone's going to have that.
I love these little
really
twisties, though, that we have.
The twisties on these have the balls. And some of the wreaths have that as well.
That's
so they
neat.
are available in different,
I'm just gonna show
the frame on the back.
Yeah, just so people can kind of see what it's based on. So it's just based on a simple wire frame, very lightweight.
Very lightweight.
And then you're just buying these giant spools of ribbon, basically, this really cool meshy stuff, and go crazy.
Which comes in like every possible color variation that you want. So if green wasn't your thing, you could do golds, you could do reds, you could do creams, whites, silvers, any color that you'd like.
Cool.
So
I like it.
These are really neat. And there's also a tree frame, so very similar to the flock tree that I showed you, but a larger size that you can put up against a wall in the same fashion of the wire.
I
So
like that.
for someone who maybe has a smaller apartment or something like that they don't want to put up a tree, they could kind of do that look as well.
Yeah, okay.
So something a little bit
now,
different.
you're going to get a little crafty right now with us because there are lots of options. I mean, it's something as simple as, we've mentioned in past segments as well, as taking, bowls and throwing in
a mixture of
ornaments and ornaments that we've had kicking around that we don't want to use on our tree, you can throw in here, or buy a new little fresh batch. And I mean, I love these ones because, again, variation in size, color, adding some sparkle and some natural. You can
exactly.
And
or
greens.
You just pulling those out and just seeing the pine cones. Maybe your home suits just the pine cones.
Yeah.
Perfect. There you go. You've got it,
And
right?
there's lots of places to be decorating your house this time of year. So if you have any big gatherings, you want people to feel festive in every room they go to.
Absolutely. Even simple things. These little trees are nice because they light up. So you could put them in a wreath. You could put them on a mantle. You could put them on your table and maybe do back-to-back type thing.
That's neat. Those are fun.
They are fun. And there's church steeples. There's different sizes and colors
Oh,
as well.
look at this one.
And they
Oh,
all
that's
and they all light
great.
up. So they're great pieces for just adding, you know, something a little bit different. You saw a lot of people last year adding churches and things like that
Yep.
to their outside ornaments, which is also kind of different.
I think what's fun about Christmas too is, or the holiday season in general, is, you know, sometimes you buy things and then if it's like fresh, you just bought it last year and you put it away, or this year and you put it away, next year like, oh, I forgot I had that, I love this. And you may move and you may have a new place in the house for that. So it is really
fun.
exciting, right? And again, it's all just about each year, add a little something here and there to
Well,
your
adding
collection.
and changing, right?
And
That's what
changing.
you're doing every year. So I know this year with a little girl in my house,
Yes.
there's going to be a little more pink than we've ever had before. So something as simple as these tiered glass vases or containers, whatever you
Oh,
want
I
to call
see.
it.
That one's stacked on top.
They're stacked on top. So you could do,
Neat.
you know, just add some balls on the top of here, close her up. You could use that as one jar.
That's fun. I mean, you
that
could
on the
you could
table?
put fresh greens in the bottom one, whatever,
Yep.
right? I guess you need to make sure they can breathe, but
So you could do it so you had different tiers of colors if you were doing
Yeah.
balls, or you could separate them. You could put a candle in
That's
here,
cool.
sprinkle again. The snow is just so handy because it just is easy, right?
and I mean, look how fast you
And
did
it,
that,
and it
right?
vacuums up, so that's a nice thing as well. And then, you know, throw in your pine cones and a little bit of your greenery, and there you go. You've got yourself two different looks, and even
That's
that, you know,
cool.
on a mantle with those
Yep.
two pieces beside each other, and maybe a candle holder or something like that. You could put a candle in the center of this glass,
Sure you
which
could.
would also be nice. But you can do so many different things with the glass.
Really like these ones. These were very natural looking. I mean,
They are
even
very natural looking.
feel like, I mean, obviously these are real pine cones, but I mean, this just feels so natural, and that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Just simple, as you say, adding candles to any of this, and being able to stack. And what's great about something like these is that you can use these all year round.
You can.
So you can take the same concept and do something like this for Valentine's, for Easter.
Yep.
You
I did
know?
lemons. I actually have this one,
Oh,
and I did
nice.
lemons and limes in the summertime, just in
Nice.
the middle of the table. Simple,
Yeah.
right? So it is nice. The other thing you can do with some of these little like sort of DIY items is put them inside of a lantern. You don't necessarily like have to have them in just glass. They could go inside of a lantern, hang your lantern outside on your front
That's the thing, you're
porch.
seeing so many different styles of lanterns now, and I mean, we have even more again this year, and I was like, oh, I like that one too. I just keep wanting to buy new lanterns. They look so cool out the front of your house, going down your steps.
Yes.
And as you say, you can do so many things with them.
Absolutely.
You know, throwing in natural greens and candles, and you know,
Even the ornament balls.
ornaments,
right?
why not?
Nice and bright.
It is. It's very
colorful.
bright.
Nothing's going to happen to them outside.
Put them on your side, fill them up, stack them up, and you've got, if you know, the red and green balls, whatever you want to do, and just coordinate with, you know, your outdoor beautiful arrangements that you may have, and it's just, there are so many options. So making your own wreath, obviously you can come in here and buy fresh green wreaths, and you can get you guys to make things for people, which is even better.
Lots of options.
Thanks so much, Michelle. Always festive here at TERRA. We'll be back with more after this. When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your Christmas dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're at Cruikshanks here in Dundas, and I'm here with Gord Cruikshanks. Nice to be in the menswear side of things at the
Thank you.
store. Beautiful ladies wear at the front, men's at the
Yep,
back.
absolutely.
You guys have been here a long time.
Been in business for 27 years and
Wow.
been in this location now for 14 years.
Wow. So it's been good to you.
Yeah, it has been. It's in a tough time.
Yes, absolutely.
We've been very fortunate.
Good for you. All right, so
thank you.
some beautiful clothing in here for, again, men's and ladies, but we're going to focus on men today. We're a couple weeks in here and decided December and a lot of gift giving to be had, and ladies looking maybe perhaps to dress their men. And
hopefully.
And yes, exactly, and quite nicely. So let's talk a little bit. We have some models that we're going to show here today as well, but give me an idea of what Cruikshanks, when you describe your store, the menswear side, what do you provide?
Well, we offer a wide assortment of ready-to-wear clothing. We also have a custom service, which we provide for men.
That's nice.
And we have an extensive casual wear collection of goods that we do also.
So anything from denim to dressing to the nines.
All the way through.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right, so why don't we take a look at our first model,
Sure.
and we'll talk about what we're seeing right now, obviously, as we're edging towards the end of 2014, going in, of course, winter officially coming, and into the new year. What are we seeing in terms of trends? We're looking at casual wear right now.
Well, as far as casual is concerned, like here's a perfect example of what a younger man would wear to a house party, for example. It's got a little bit of style. Beautiful washed lambskin leather jacket made by one of my German suppliers. Merino wool scarves, very, very important as an accessory this year. We do a lot of colored shirts. T-shirts have become very popular underneath the untucked sport shirt. And then casual wear in the form of cotton wash jeans, casual cotton slacks that aren't quite as jeany.
Right.
Sometimes we eliminate the studs and the rivets and the pockets, and that tends to make it look just a little bit dressier.
True.
And then usually pants for the young man, he doesn't want the finished bottoms on them, he just wants to roll the bottoms up the way Stu has done right here.
And it's a nice look, and as you say, that you know, that really can be for the younger gentleman, but you can also wear that you know, when you are you know, a little bit older as well, because it's just a nice look, and it's very casual,
Absolutely.
it's very comfortable.
Absolutely.
People, you know, heading down to wineries eventually in the new year, going to the Ice Wine Festival, and again, wanting to have some scarves, some other layers to put on.
I have a client who purchased one of these jackets just a few weeks back. He was off to Cannes in the south of France, believe it or
there
not.
you
So it was
go.
a perfect thing to wear in the airplane.
Perfect.
You can take it off, roll it up in a ball, and stuff it into the seat in front of you.
That's
for
what's
the
great
trip.
about a fine leather jacket,
That's
isn't it?
right, exactly.
Very nice. Okay, that's a great look.
Thanks,
okay,
Stu.
so that's more our casual side. And as you mentioned, we have a ton of beautiful colored shirts here. So
Thank you.
for some people that love to be flashy and walk in a room and like you can, or some more subtle.
Well, we try to cover both bases because there are a lot of clients who are still in the conservative side.
Right.
But by the same token, you know, our demographic has shifted quite dramatically. We're seeing a lot of younger men in the 20 to 40 age bracket, and they want to dress in things that are a little bit more sophisticated. They want something that's got a little bit more polish, but not all of them.
There you go. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take it back now to our next model, and again, just taking it up a little bit, maybe going out for a nice dinner.
Yep, absolutely. Mike's wearing a merino wool Italian fabric manufactured by my Canadian supplier in Montreal. And this is done in a very fine little subtle houndstooth check. It looks quite plain from a distance, but when one gets close to it, you really start to pick up the colors that are in it.
It's beautiful material, you can tell.
The pocket square, again, very, very important. There's a lot of pocket square business being done because a lot of men are not wearing ties. The businessman still does, but a lot of fellas will opt for a very nice pocket square in linen. It could be silk, and then they'll wear it with a little bit more flashy shirt underneath, as Mike has done. This is our cars range. There's vintage cars on it, and we pick up a little bit of the orange that's in the shirt in the pocket square of the jacket.
Right.
And he's also wearing, again, a casual slack by my German supplier Meyer. These are cotton. They're completely washable. They all have a little zippered security pocket so that if one's traveling, they can keep their cash in it.
Oh, smart. Very good. And again, just a really great look, very versatile, and it's really nice to have some good jackets in your wardrobe because you can do so much with them.
Absolutely. Our suit business is very strong, but there are more men who are investing in sports jackets nowadays because they can coordinate with a blue jean, a dress slack, a cotton casual slack like Mike is wearing.
Right.
It gives them a lot more versatility.
And especially, as you say, if you're traveling for business, it's something that you can wear
Absolutely.
both. You can wear both ways.
Absolutely.
Through the day and then later that night going out for dinner. So, yeah, that's a great look.
That's great. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, and obviously, you know, we talk about this time of year as well. You know, there are a lot more parties to go to, so maybe more upscale. And obviously, you know, Christmas and New Year's is coming around the corner, so we can go really fancy and get your man in a nice tailored suit.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so let's take a look at our next model.
So Paul is wearing a perfect example of the new style of tuxedo. This is a peak lapel model. And interesting thing about peak lapel jackets, whether it's a suit or formal wear like this, is that the peak lapel has a tendency to draw the eye up and out to the shoulders. So it's got a little bit more of a handsome, form-shaping look to it.
It helps, it looks nice across the chest, right across, that opens up the shoulders.
Beautifully
and chest.
done. And this is all done in fine satin grosgrain. Satin grosgrain buttons, of course, which is a de rigueur on tuxedos. Jetted pockets. And we've coordinated this one with a shirt that's actually from my custom supplier. And he's wearing Swarovski crystal cufflinks. And then underneath the jacket, we've coordinated black onyx and silver shirt studs.
Look at that.
And the Burberry style cummerbund and bow tie.
I like that, you know, and again, that's different. You know, men will often say, "Oh, you know, I'll just rent a suit or something like that."
Yeah,
But there is nothing like having a suit that fits the man perfectly,
This
right?
This is so important. You know, formal rentals are great for the man who wears a tuxedo once a year, perhaps.
Yes.
But if you've got occasion to wear tux 2 or 3 times a year, it's worth investing
It
in
is
one.
so worth the investment, and you can tell the difference.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, it looks great. Okay, so I want to ask you a few more questions. So let's talk a little bit about trends. If you were to wear a tie, what are we seeing in terms of trends right now with ties? Are they wide? Are they skinny? Are they?
Well, there's an interesting thing happens in our industry. You'll find that the neckwear takes its cue from the blade of the lapel. So if we're showing wide lapel jackets, we would be showing wider bladed ties. When we're showing narrower lapels, automatically you have to do a narrower tie. And usually the collars of the shirts will be a little bit smaller as well.
Oh, right.
And
That's
even
right.
pocket flaps on a jacket
Yes.
would be a little bit shallower.
Okay.
So the whole concept originates from the lapel of the jacket, and everything follows suit from
That's
there.
actually a very good
That's
indication
where the
for people.
manufacturers talk to each other.
Yes.
Right?
Well, yeah, of course, right? That's the way it is.
And then as far as the look of neckwear goes, for example, the tie I'm wearing at the moment is what we would refer to as a miniature print. It's a woven jacquard finish, and this sort of a look with a suit today, or even with a sports jacket, allows you to do pattern with a pattern. And in fact, we can even take it a step further. We can do a patterned shirt,
Yes.
worn with a patterned tie, worn with a patterned jacket or suit. The key is that you have
Knowing
your
what
professional
works.
help you put that together. Don't try and do this yourself.
That's where you come into play, Gord. Perfect way to end our segment. So again, at Cruikshanks here in Dundas, come to Gord, and all of your wonderful staff here will definitely help people out and make sure that they're wearing their patterns properly and all of their accessories all in the right spot, right? Some
Absolutely.
good outfits. Thank you so much for your help
You're welcome.
today.
Thank you so much.
All right,
It's a
that's it for
pleasure.
now. We'll have more TERRA at Home to come. When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your Christmas dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
The Hamilton Spectator. At work, at home, or on the go. Read us online, in print, or download us to your e-reader. Get the Hamilton Spectator any way you want it.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are at the Hamilton Spectator Go Cooking Kitchen, and we're back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra restaurant in Hamilton, and we're doing a little twist on, obviously a great winter meal, but even something if you want to be a little different on Christmas Day for Christmas dinner. We're doing Osso Buco.
Osso Buco, yeah. You know what? It's Christmas dinners traditionally are done with either lambs or something like that, or ham and stuff. Osso Buco, or any shank of that sort, is really nice, especially when you're doing large crowds, because it's a very cost-effective way of feeding a lot of people.
Okay.
And when done properly, it's extremely, extremely tender. It'll fall right off the bone. You still have a little bit of bone marrow there, which is fantastic. Excellent on crusty bread. Little spread there, and away you go.
That's
very nice.
That's so funny you say that. I have a friend who's Italian. She's all about that. Exactly what you just said. So what type of cut of meat is it?
This is the shank. So this is the lower part between the knee and the hoof of the animal, and they cross-cut it across the bone.
Okay. Yes.
So it does have to be braced, because any shank is very, very tough. Okay.
But by the time you're done with
But
it.
by the time you cook it for 2.5, 3 hours, you'll get a real nice, tender, flaky, piece of meat out of it.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Now, there's a couple ways you could do it. Traditionally, it is floured first.
Right.
Okay, I don't flour it just because if you have to cook for somebody who's gluten intolerant, this eliminates that. And you know
point.
what? The flour adds a bit of thickness to the sauce, but the tomato sauce that we use, we reduce it for so long that it's got enough body in it that you don't really need to do.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to put in some oil into a pan.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to season it, some salt.
You always have
Some
to season
pepper.
your meats, right? I mean, because meat
Always.
really doesn't have a lot of flavor to it until you do that.
And when you're braising, you want to put a little extra salt because you are using a fair amount of liquid in there. So you do want a little extra salt in there. It'll help break down the protein as well.
Okay.
We're going to season that, and in it goes.
And it really is definitely one of those cozy, comforting meals.
It
Something
is.
about Osso Buco that's just, as you say, the way it breaks down and tender, and either served with polenta or mashed potatoes or whatever. It just there's something very.
It's hearty.
Hearty,
It's
hearty,
very hearty dish.
Yeah.
We're going to brown both sides, and then I have some carrots cut up, and I have some onions underneath here. So we're going to put carrots and onions into this. And we also have some pureed garlic. And then you can flavor it with any herb that has a woodsy outdoor aromatic to it.
Okay.
I use thyme. You could also use oregano if you want, or rosemary will work. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So brown both sides. When I flip it over, now I can throw in my carrots. The carrots and the onions are going to add flavor and a little bit of sweetness to it.
So you're saying you're using a pan that you can take right from the stovetop to the oven.
Straight into the oven.
Which is ideal.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier for you. You don't one less thing to clean.
Right.
Plus, you have all those juices in there.
Yeah.
And you have all those flavors. You don't want to lose that. And
No.
even if you deglaze it, you tend to still lose a little bit off of that. So by keeping it in the same pan and putting it straight into the oven, you're retaining all that.
Okay.
Now, again, we're going to take a little bit of salt and pepper. That's just for the vegetables. I have pureed garlic. And again, the amount of garlic you want to put in, it's up to you. If you like garlicky things, put a lot. If you want a
for
little
it.
bit less,
Well, in the winter months when we're fighting off colds, we need
That's
as much
right.
garlic as we can get, right? So I imagine at the restaurant you can make quite large portions of this so that you can serve a mass quantity of people. As you're saying, it's because of the nature of the cut. You can it goes a long way.
it goes a long way. And when you do it in large volumes, you start getting a lot more out of it too. I mean, we're only cooking one here,
Yep.
but to do 5 or 6 at once is actually a lot better because what ends up happening is all that marrow that's in that bone really starts to thicken it up. So it almost creates its own demi while it's cooking. So the more you have in there, the better off
I can
it
see
really
that,
becomes.
Sure. So again, that's something to think about if you are entertaining at home. If you are serving 6 to 8 to
Yeah.
10, 12 people, you can create that yourself.
You can create that.
And again, this is what's good about it is, as you say, once you get the starting part done, once you put it in the oven, you're pretty
Yep.
much good to go, right?
Yep, pretty much good to go. So we're going to add our tomato sauce.
Okay.
Now, whenever you're braising, what you're looking to do is you're looking to completely submerge the meat in liquid.
Right.
Okay?
Because you don't want that drying out at all, and you're still
That's
trying
right.
to keep it tender.
That's right.
Okay.
So we're going to put in a good amount of tomato sauce. And then you can use vegetable stock or water. This is a little bit of water in this. Now I'm going to take my thyme. Now, dry thyme is extremely, extremely strong. Okay?
Warning.
So you don't want to put too much of it. If you're
Okay.
using fresh thyme, you can get away with a little bit more. But with the dry thyme, you just want to put a little bit.
Okay.
And then I have some bay leaves. I'm going to throw those bay leaves in the pot as well. And this is the beauty about this dish. You put it in the oven, you set it at about 325, between 325 and 340 for about 2.5 to 3 hours, and you forget about it.
That's great.
And all you have to do is worry about all your sides.
I was going to say, nice, easy dish. So,
It is.
when we are speaking about sides, I had mentioned, obviously, mashed potatoes or polenta. What do you serve with yours?
Right now, at the restaurant, we're doing with risotto. We're doing a roasted garlic risotto, and then we do some seasonal vegetable. For today, I brought some rapini along, so we're going to saute some rapini to go along with it.
Very good. Very good. So again, at this point, you're going to let this still kind of thicken up on the stove.
A little bit on the stove, yeah. You want to bring everything up to temperature. It just speeds it up a little bit in the oven. Move things around, make sure everything's mixed properly and that all the flavors are around and not just sitting in one spot. As well as the bay leaves, you want to make sure those bay leaves are right into the liquid so that it flavor comes out of them.
I don't think I've had Osso Buco with carrots and onions and all that in with it, so that's just kind of a nice, again, extra flavor,
Nice.
right?
Yeah, extra flavor, extra, it gives you hardiness there. And like I said, the carrots and the onions, when they cook for that period of time, they add a bit of sweetness to it too.
They sure would.
So and it's not even sugary sweetness, it's just
No.
something you pick up on when you're eating.
Right. So at this point, you put it in the oven, and
Yep.
what temperature and for
You
how
want
long?
it covered.
Yep.
Okay, and you're looking at about 2.5 to 3 hours at 325 to 330.
Okay, so keep it low.
Yeah,
low
keep
and
it
slow.
low and slow. Braising
then-
is about low and slow.
And then da-da-da-da, dinner is
Exactly.
ready.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, so we'll take a quick break. We'll let this do it. And through the magic of television, because obviously we'll be back in just a couple of minutes
Sounds good.
instead of a couple of hours, we will have this. And again, we have to do up some rapini.
Some
as you
rapini,
suggested, right?
yeah.
All right, we'll be right back in just a few. When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your Christmas dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
The Hamilton Spectator. At work, at home, or on the go. Read us online, in print, or download us to your e-reader. Get the Hamilton Spectator any way you want it.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra restaurant in Hamilton, and we are making a fantastic Osso Buco.
Yep.
You're just doing up the rapini right now.
So I just put in some rapini, and a lot of people boil the rapini ahead of time. I'm not a
Yes.
big fan of it. I just put it in nice and dry.
Okay.
You can add a little bit of liquid, put a lid on it if you want, but this one I'm just going to do a real quick saute. So it's going to have a bitterness about it,
Yes.
but it'll work well when you have such a robust dish like Osso Buco. So
Okay.
you have something very big over here, very heavy. This is going to balance that
It'll
plate
be all
out.
right. I know, because some people they're not sure if they like rapini because sometimes it seems almost more bitter than others. So
Yeah.
is it more bitter when you're doing it the way you're doing it than if you were boiling it, or does that matter, or is it just depending on the rapini that you have?
Sometimes it depends on the rapini you have.
Okay.
Also, it does depend on how far you cook it. I find that if you overboil it, I find it gets extremely bitter.
Really?
Personally, I think it's got a little bit of sweetness to it as long as it stays a little bit undercooked.
Okay.
That's a matter of personal taste.
So you
though.
just put a little bit of oil in there right now.
I just put a
and
little bit of oil, yeah,
Okay.
and you can see it's just wilting down,
Yes.
nice and light.
And that's quick and easy to do.
Yeah,
that way as
it's a
well.
great vegetable to eat. We're gonna add a little bit of
Very healthy.
garlic in that, a touch of salt, touch of pepper, and then I'm just gonna finish it off with a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
So we were talking before, you tend to see, it paired up with some type of heavy carb because of the sauce and everything kind of soaks in, but you don't need to have that. You're just having yours right now
Yeah,
with a vegetable,
just
which
a
actually
vegetable.
a lot of people would really like that
Yeah,
alternative.
you can leave out that carb. Like I
Sure.
said, I mean, that's such a big item anyway.
Yes.
You don't need to have a carb with it.
No.
I like carbs. I'm a carb guy, so.
Okay, but I think most people enjoy their carbs here and there. Just a reminder, as you're plating this, you can also pick up our recipes on terragreenhouses.com as well. So something like this, a grain alternative, again, through the entire winter to put something like this together. Beautiful, thick, again, comforting food.
Very comforting. There's that. And you can see how it's just fallen right off of that bone.
That's the best part of it all.
And we're going to put that on.
Perfect. And then, of course, as you mentioned, you got that little bone with the
And
bone
you got the
marrow.
marrow.
And put it on there. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chef Mark.
There
Looks
you go.
good. Can't wait to try it.
Sounds good.
Yummy. That's it for now. Have yourself a great weekend. When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your Christmas dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.